Hello YouTube and welcome back to Allie's Wonderland Creations. I am Alice Seraphin and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. So welcome to my channel everybody. Excuse me, early in the morning acid reflux acts up. So the month of October, I concentrated on making all of my Saturday videos and my Monday series of videos with the Winter Meadow suite. I'm looking for my catalog so I can give you a little glance at what was in it. Here it is. So I loved this set so much because I felt you could do so much with everything in here. And the paper coordinates with the beautiful, let me move my whiteboard so I can show you. Okay, so you got this DSP, which is the Winter Meadow DSP, and you also got the specialty designer series paper, which is called Snowflake Magic. And it really coordinates with the sparkling snowflakes really well, which I also purchased because I didn't have snowflakes. Now, this is interesting. They show a snowflake. It must be embossed. I'm going to have to get my embossing gun, maybe an extension cord to get it over here in camera. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just do it prior to. But this is going to be November's stamp set that I'll be concentrating on. And I knew that I could use both of these, this set with the DSP and paper from the Winter Meadow. And this gives you a close-up look at the beautiful stamps in it. They're distinctive images. They stamp really well. What I liked also so much about this set is that with these three sentiments, how they go together, you could use one for the envelope, one for the front of the card, and one for the inside, which I have done with the entire set, except for this one. We're not doing any of that with this project. So I made a sample to show you what we are going to make, and I'm going to tell you why I'm doing this. So this, of course, is not Stampin' Up! My samples mostly are not. They're just for me to get a feel for it. So this is a box. This is a belly band, which you could make. I didn't think the black and white, even though it was with flowers, I think that still kind of went with this. But this is my sample box. This holds 4 cards with heavy embellishments on them, which is a great little gift to give away. You don't have to give away Christmas cards, but I actually do in my neighborhood to my neighbors, and they tend to like it. At least I've gotten a great response. But what this is inspired by is Stampin' Up! Used to sell these acetate card boxes. And these make beautiful gifts also. Let me show you. So here's the same stack of 4 cards. Let me get this in here. Sometimes it's better to put them in one at a time, especially when you have a bow on that you want to be the front card. So there they go. So 4 cards. These are heavily embellished cards. Each one has embellishments on them. So it folds up. There we go. Beautiful box of cards. So I wanted to show you how you could make your own. It took me hours yesterday. I'd make a mistake. I'd have to, that's why I use old scrap DSP. So I am also doing a giveaway. I have 4 envelopes here. You're going to get a card. You're going to get one of the acetate boxes. You're going to get a little bit of one of these that I had extra. So I have 4 of those as a giveaway. At the end, we can go over that. So let's get started on what you're going to need to make this box. It really is handy. You could do large gift tags, which I do want to work on my gift tags. So I'll probably do something like this and make a box similar to this one for next month. So what are we going to use? Well, I made a template. Look, it's out of the same. That was just the 3 inches cut off. So I'm going to use a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock. Make sure it's nice, thick cardstock. If you use something like this, it's going to be thin and really not hold its shape with all those cards in there. So we're going to cut this down in a minute. Now, I'm using this piece of DSP from the Winter Meadow DSP. Our card box is going to need to measure 9 by 12. We'll go over the scoring stuff together. DSP is 4 by 5.5. That's because this one is not having a belly band. It's just having the DSP. If you want to do the belly band, here are your measurements. Belly band is a 3 by 12. It is scored at 2 3/4, 3.5, 8 and 8 3/4, and it fits beautifully around our box. You could do that with any of the boxes, but this one we're just going to use DSP. I have 20 inches of some sheer real red retired ribbon, which is going to bring in the red element for this. And guess what we're using as the front? I have these ornaments from the dollar store. Have a selection of them here. You could use the trucks. Some of these, their pieces fell off. This one says joy. This one says hope. So any simple element that's just going to take up center stage of this box. So that's what we're using. Let's get on with it. I'm going to need those. Move that aside. We're going to need the trimmer, a score tool of some kind. Now, this darker blade for the Stampin' Up! One, that's your cutting one. That's a dangerous one for me. Let's stick that well away from me. Get a sip. And we are going to start on with the 12 by 12. We're going to cut one side down to 9 inches. So we are going to use the cutter for the minute. So there we go. That is going over there. That could be a belly band on a card, whatnot. So now I'm going to lift this up. I'm going to slide my cutting one well away from me. And on the 9-inch side, we are going to start scoring at 3/4 of an inch. Want to make sure it's all the way. Make sure when you cut and you trim stuff, make sure your paper is all the way shoved at that top line, because otherwise it could be crooked. It does happen. It happens when I am not paying enough attention. So I'm just double checking my measurements. 3/4 of an inch. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3 times. Now we're going to a 1/2 inch. 1, 2, and 3. I can show you. The reason being is I've made this folding element 3/4 of an inch. So this needs to be 3/4. This needs to be 3/4. So that's what we're doing at this moment. Next, you can do it 2 ways. You can scoot this thing all the way down to 8 and score, which we can do this too. Hopefully. No, 7.5. And then, so right there, 7.5. You can 1, 2, and 3. Now 8 1/4, because that is 3/4 of an inch from 7.5. 1, 2, 3. If you didn't want to have your arm out, you could have just turned it around and scored at 3/4 and 1.5, and then you have those scored. Now we're going to turn it to the 12-inch side. We are going to start at 1.5 inches. I need to move that out of the way. I'd like it to lay a bit flatter. So 1.5. Make sure I got it. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to go to 2 1/4. Another, this is for the bottom. It needs to be at 3/4 of an inch too. 3 6 3/4, which is right there. 1, 2, 3. Guess what, guys? Yeah, I scored it wrong. You guys seen it. I scored the 9-inch measurements. I know I had another piece out. Just in case I did this. It never fails. Alright. I was being so careful too, wasn't I? It happens. So let's start again. I knew it looked funny. So we want to cut it on the 9-inch side. I turned it when I shouldn't have. So there's 9. So this is 9. We're going to start. You guys just going to see me. So 3/4 of an inch. Ready? Oh, blade. Dark blade all the way at the top. Almost made a huge error. Making sure my line is right there. 1, 2, and 3. Now at 1.5. Yes. 3/4 of an inch. Lining it up nice and straight. 1, 2, and 3. Now me, I'm going to take it out, turn it, and repeat. So 3/4 of an inch. Yep. 1, 2, and 3. 1.5. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to turn it to the 12-inch side and start at 1.5. Now it's looking right. It just took me an extra turn. It does happen. 1, 2, 3, and down, and 2.25, because that's 3/4 of an inch from 1.5. 1, 2, 3. Now we are moving down to 6 3/4. 1, 2, 3, and down to start. Don't ask me why I do it down, but I do. And 7 1/2. Yes, 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 yes. I'm just looking at everything here. 1, 2, 3. This is the last piece of garden green 12 by 12 I have. So there you have it. It is done now the right way. Sometimes, where's my sample? Okay, so this is my template. Now, everywhere where you see garden green, we are cutting. So let's get snips out because that's what we have to do. Just a minute.
I'm letting Pink sleep in.
All right.
So can you drive him?
I will drive him to school. Yes. My grandson had strep throat, so she's letting him. He's been medicated, but she wants him to sleep. So from here to here, we're going to cut to start. So I'm going to use those grooves, our score grooves, to line up my snips. Hopefully. You could use a cutter, but I don't like doing that. I'm old school as far as this kind of stuff goes because we used to have to do these things before you had the fancy dancy stuff. Just cut it. Just use the groove. Place your scissors. That's what I feel for. Okay, there's my groove. Cut to there. Now, I will not throw these bits of garden green away. I'm keeping them. So, let's check. Now, I'm going to cut this section out here. So, I'm going to come up here, cut this square off, and I will even keep these because these are great for cutting little die cutting images that just need a little bit. Where I keep all my little scraps. Now, this little bit we're going to cut that's like 3/4 of an inch square. No, we're not keeping that. That I can part with that one. So, now we have it almost there. We need these little corners cut out for our little tabs. So the outside corner, right there, right there. There. Might have to trim up that one a bit. And I'm going to use a corner rounder on my corners here of the large flap. Okay, so that is, well, let's move those completely out of the way. There we have it. Now, to make this work, these are my folding in tabs, so I do need to cut from here up on both sides of my paper. Then we're going to crease all of this really well. So I'm going to get my bone folder, and you guys know me, I like to fold things away from me. I mean, sometimes I do it the other way, but it is what it is. I will tell you, this piece of garden green has held its color. It is back from 2008, 2009, when this garden green was in the color Earth Elements, I believe it was. Let's see, I'll show you the package. I'm not lying. Earth Elements. If it wasn't, then that's where I found it, so I could have put it there. So we're going to turn it, crease all of our score lines, turn it this way, and don't forget these little tabs. You're going to laugh. I cut one of these tabs off of my card box, and I just taped it with a piece of tape. I had cut it here, so I just put a piece of Scotch tape there. Then I glued it down like that. I was like, oh, it's going to stay there. I can make this work. So with these folded over, these are our closing tabs of our box. Let me show you. Here's my box. These are our folding tabs. See, this is the one. I think this is the one that I had the Scotch tape, and I just folded it down. So we're going to just corner around these to make it look nice and make it easier to slip in and out of the box. So there's 1, 2, so we are ready to get folding and put it together. Oh, absolutely love it. So what's great about this is you open all this up. All you have to do is fold this end over, the shorter end, okay? The 1.5 inch is there. Now, you can use score tape. I will tell you, I didn't use score tape on my sample, and it is held together beautifully. I've put stuff in it, pulled stuff out of it. It is held together great. So I am using wet glue, but use whatever adhesive you feel comfortable with. So now I'm going to take this one. You do need to have this like so. And I'm just going to fold that over onto itself. Going to make sure it's lined up. And there we have the beginnings of our box. I'm going to fold it the opposite way now, just reinforcing it. So for the bottom of my box, because I do not want these to mess up with me putting my cards in, I glued those like so. I want them there for that little bit of support on the bottom. Got a lot of glue on that one, but it's gonna be okay. So next, make sure that for that inside flap, you get glue all the way to that edge to keep anything from wanting to stick up underneath it. So for this one, I want to put glue here. All the way, because this is going to tuck in, and I don't want any of my cards trying to get in between this and the cover. So I'm just going to go like that and stick it in here, and then I'm going to use my bone folder, hopefully, come inside the box and rub it down here. This, you don't have to do this. I want it secure, at least, hopefully. Come on, get in there. I think I'm going to use a block. Use a block. That'll work. I'm just checking to make sure that those edges are down in the inside of my box. Okay, now nothing's going to fall out the end like in my sample. I hadn't secured that one yet. So now we can stuff it full of goodness. When we are ready, let's see, let's grab these cards. Since these are part of the cards I made. And these are the exact 4 that are in my sample. Look at that. That's what I wanted this secured for. I don't put enough glue on there. You know what? You know it. We're going to use glue dots. That will be secured by the time I'm finished. I don't want it opening up. I probably didn't use enough glue. I'm going to stick another one in there. Maybe it just needs more time to set up. Whatever works for you. So there. I do not want that opening up on me. It will go in there. Always on camera is an issue. All 4. I want the pretty one there. Now we can close this up. Like so. Oh, it's so pretty. And I wanted to stuff it before I put my cards in it. So you could do a belly band on this. I didn't think it was necessary, not with this piece of DSP. And this piece of DSP, guys, is a scrap piece. That was actual, this measurement. I didn't have to do any other work. It was just in my sleeve of DSP. So I'm like, oh boy, that works great. You could have tied a ribbon on it, but I'm going to put my ribbon in between there. Down before I put, probably should have double checked like so. You could have done this before you made your box. That's totally up to you. So now actually this being glued down helps me to be able to tie my bow. So there's my bow, my little Christmas ornament now. I'm going to use tear tape on this, and I'm going to be cutting this totally off. We don't need this on it at all. So, but it is hot glued in there, so we do need to remove that, and any little strands. So now it's time for the tear tape. Maybe we'll pop that one up. I thought I put a big old blingy jewel in there. I have a red one, but I thought a crystal clear one. Look how cute. All right, so we need tear tape. I mean, you could do paper of a sentiment on there. You don't have to use an ornament. It's just I was digging in stuff and I found these and I'm like, oh, that would be really cute on the box. All right. But I do want to rub it on there, make sure it's really well pushed down into this little chipboard ornament here. Remove backings. Fold that one over a bit. Don't want no little glue bits sticking out. There's that. Do we want to, oh yeah, we're gonna put that on the dimensional. Why not? There's no reason not to. One. Make it stand out that much more. We could do a few snowflake embellishments. That's really cute. I'm so happy with this. Okay, so let's get embellishments out. Okay. I had to clean up my embellishment box. Do we want to do like a few snowflakes? I don't think so. I think we're just going to go with those. Or these really sparkly iridescent ones. No, those are just too much of a pearls. If they were red, they'd be perfect. Nope, no pearls. All right. So it's the iridescent basic jewel rhinestones. One large one to cover the hole. Maybe it'll fit in there. Oh, how am I going to get that to stay there? Oh, it recesses perfectly in there. And do I need any more on there? Yes. So maybe 1, 2. Put 1. We're going to do 5. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. No, I'm going to keep it at 3. Sometimes I just want to go all out. So anyways, that is my little gift box. Hopefully that wasn't too complicated for you guys. It does open up full of beautiful cards. And it is identical to the clear one that I have a giveaway of. So here's the other one with a belly band you could make. So 3 different options. Of course, Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell these acetate boxes. I don't know why. I have a full, I have quite a bit, guys. I have probably 6 packages left of these. And here we go. So this is for Monday, October 30th's craft project as the 5th Friday of the month, or a mystery. And this one I decided to do this craft box. And I'm going to draw the name on November 6th. So if you would like to get a chance, you have 4 chances of receiving one of these in the mail from me. Thanks for watching, everybody. And please come back and visit me in my wonderland. Bye-bye for now.